We are at a significant crossroads in our culture right now, specifically regarding the ever evanescent and dwindling and collapsing freedom of speech and expression. That has always been the bugaboo of everybody since the beginning of time. People hate the First Amendment. First, they. I don't know what they love. Censorship more than free speech. Free speech is a bitch. Free speech is horrible. Free speech allows people to say a lot of things that you might find to be absolutely just beyond terrible, beyond awful. And that's the way it is. Today, we're going to be talking about how the free speech and expression zombies are going after Candace Owens. And whether you know anything about Charlie Kirk or her, or you don't know anything, it doesn't really matter. This might be the most important issue there is. I'm going to give two examples of how Charlie speaks from the grave, basically in support of Candace and Alex Jones, because they're going to Alex Jones, or trying to Alex Jones Candace. Alex Jones is a verb now, to shut somebody down because their voice and their speech is so dangerous, so reprehensible, so terrible that it not only deserves civil, liability, civil sanctions, but actual censure and destruction of platform. So get ready. And I have never seen Candace more angry, and for good reason. But first, this. Everybody's talking about AI, a smarter future, a faster future, everything connected, everything in the cloud. Well, what happens? What happens when it breaks? What happens when the system holding your money gets hacked, or artificial intelligence becomes sophisticated enough to identify patterns and exploit weaknesses and target the accounts you trusted with your financial future? Think about it. How much of what you own exists only as numbers on a screen? That's why so many Americans are choosing something real, physical gold, physical silver, assets you can actually hold. Click the special link below to learn how Noble Gold can deliver precious metals to your door or place them in a tax-advantaged retirement account. And to celebrate America's 250th birthday, viewers who use my link and open a new qualified account will receive a free 10-ounce silver bar. In an increasingly digital world, own something real. Protect what you've earned. Click the special link below now. Free speech is something that people love to say they believe in. They love it. They think they do. They're axiomatic when they absolutely show and propound this idea that we must be able to say whatever we want. And yet everywhere there's been somebody trying along the way to subvert this, whether it's through hate crimes, because hate is protected, whether it's during various flu and virus pandemics. We went through that one. They tried to do it with the Alien and Sedition Act. It's been around since McCarthyism. And and this is important, a lot of the most incredible example of free speech violations are not from the government per se, but from proxies. Because it's not the thought police that bother me, it's the thought vigilantes, citizen thought police who come out of nowhere and tell me I can't say something. Candace Owens right now, she is hit. We're going to get to her. I've never seen her, I think, angry, hurt, and a combination of just fuming yesterday, and for good reasons. There have been these folks, you will never, ever, ever hear me say that somebody must be shut down. I'll tell them they're full of shit. Welcome to our Romanian friends, by the way, who tune in. I will tell them they're just full of it. They have no idea what's going on. But I will never say, shut somebody down. Never. I've never said that. Never believed it. Would never advocate it. If you don't like him, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Sometimes I will become aware of somebody that I wasn't listening to before. This Posobiec, a guy, proboscis. I don't want him shut down. I don't want him. I want you to know that I think he is, again, profoundly, frankly, full of shit. There's this new standard. Viva Frey, not a bad guy. Kind of, sort of. I thought, okay, absolutely doesn't get it when it comes to free speech and Candace. I don't want him shut down. I don't want him to lose his platform. No. We mentioned yesterday's Robbie Starbuck. He went through a very, very produced, very well produced video on conspiracy theories, and I think he thought it was a very good point. He's entitled to make his opinion or to have his opinion. I vehemently disagree as to that. I don't want him shut down. I don't want anybody shut down. I told you the other day that there are people who are absolutely positively dangerously wrong regarding diet and cardiac care and atherosclerosis and hyperlipidemia. There are people who've said stuff to you. I think there's things that Bobby Kennedy have said that are absolutely positively just reckless and dangerous. I don't want him shut down. That's up to you. When Suzanne Summers had, I think she had cancer or something. I think it was Suzanne Summers. They were talking about, I'm going to use fruit juice and whatever. That's dangerous. There were people, by the way, I hate to say it, during the vaccine discussion, there were people who said, I don't think kids should, no vaccine. No. And I said, this is not wise. You're overdoing it. This is kind of dangerous, but I don't want people to be shut down. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Be advised. Do you realize what happens if somebody says something that's wrong? But now we get into something which is more important. This is very, very critical. What they did to Alex Jones was they said it wasn't that Alex Jones denied Sandy Hook. It wasn't that he thought they were, and to be fair, I can't say, I know Alex either apologized, rejected, clarified, a lot of different things. I don't know which one it was per se, but I will tell you this. I know that there was this this part of Alex that clarified something. But either way, there are people who thought that school shootings were fake, that they had crisis actors. Many people thought that the Boston Marathon bombing had fake crisis actors. Okay, so what? That's up to you. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Move along. Prove them wrong. What are you going to do about it? Okay, fine. I still know people, a dear friend of mine who I swear to God, every single day he wants to tell the world that we never landed on the moon. That's his opinion. And I really have no opinion one way or the other. There are people that I know who make statements regarding religion that in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's kind of crazy. That's their right. And if I don't like them, just don't listen to them. Now, a couple of things here. Here's the problem. Then we're going to get to Candace and Charlie. The idea with Alex Jones, which you're kind of sort of getting maybe towards Candace, is this. That it's one thing to say that Sandy Hook was fake or whatever it was. It's another thing to say, this is the argument, that people who are, how do I say this? It's one thing to say that people who are, who advocate that members of the families were lying and that they themselves were the subject of personal attacks or threats, or that somebody advised people to go out, kind of like a vigilante, like, go after them, they're lying. That could be a different story, if indeed that happened. There are limitations. There's absolutely something. And what's interesting about this, which is the most important, is that every time I say something that's not true, every time I say something that, for example, we didn't land on the moon. Pretty innocuous, right? A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people have said that. What happens if somebody believes that Buzz Aldrin was a liar or is a liar, and that Buzz Aldrin perpetuated this myth, and that Buzz Aldrin, okay? And what happens if they start bothering and hectoring and threatening Buzz Aldrin because I said something never occurred? Am I going to be responsible for that? You see where they're going with this? You see where they're going? I frankly don't care one way or another about anybody's opinion regarding anything. And yes, somebody can take it a little too far. Kai says, we are losing our rights in this country, all of them. Our Constitution is dead. But you're right about that. But again, being a very good point about this. This is the part too. It's not the Constitution per se. The Constitution protects the federal government and the state government from limiting what your speech is. This is different. These are individuals. This is vigilante versus thought police. These are individual citizens. A lot of them, for example, the government never said during periods of COVID mania, you can or can't say this. They never said this, but their proxies did. Social media platforms, people deplatform people. They were the ones who did it, either at the behest of the government or, see what I'm saying? It's weird. The government says, we never said that. Also, and the private industry said, we're private industry. We have terms and conditions, and this is our thing. They just merged with Israel. Israel. Bless their hearts. We'll get to that in a moment. But thank you. This is what happens. So the government says, hey, don't look at me. It's a private industry that did this. Private industry said we can do whatever we want. And then we found out through WikiLeaks and Twitter files that there was a move by the government to actively seek the largest platforms on the planet and say, shut them down. Let me ask you something. What if, I know this is kind of weird, but what if I could figure out how to stop you from saying certain things on the well, let's say, for example, something about Israel or Gaza or beef tallow. And well, let me tell you something. Believe me when you can absolutely trust me when I tell you this. The most vile arguments you will ever get into is about diet. Believe me. I don't mean diet in terms of, what's good. I mean stuff that could hurt you, or, eggs, milk, dairy, that sort of thing. They don't want to hear it. They will go berserk, and they'll go berserk over stuff they don't even care about. Somebody mentioned before beef tallow, saturated fat, LDL collection, atherosclerosis, absolutely. And believe me, I was somebody who believed in this Atkins diet stuff and paleo and all that stuff. Nonsense. Lettuce right now is not very good. Be very careful with the lettuce. But this is what I found to be okay. That's my opinion. And I can show people, very serious stuff. But it doesn't matter. People all of a sudden say, hey. Let me give you another example. This is the best one. If you want to just start a fight, just start a fight. Listen to this. Deplatforming Candace is their last-ditch effort. One of many. But let me just say one thing very quickly, and then we'll move on, because I got to tell you this. One of the biggest myths ever is that olive oil is good. Look at this. Oh, look at this. She's recovering from cyclospiasis. Well, I think I know what you're talking about. That's some nasty stuff there, my friends. That'll set you free. Thank you. Somebody said olive oil, it's not going to kill you, but they said it's good. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's heart healthy. It's better. Meaning good, meaning you're better if you eat it. Olive oil, than if you don't. It's 100% fat. Yeah, but it's good fat. What? No. Anyway, stop right there. People went crazy. I'm Italian. What does that have to do with anything? So trust me when I tell you that. Recall I have it. Yes. Cyclosporiasis. That's, remember, this is some, and this, by the way, is all of this is from eating. It's not man to man, it's contaminated. You want to be very careful for that. Every now and then, remember, especially, have you ever been to, and we'll get to Candace in a moment. This is very interesting, by the way. Have you ever been to a foreign country and they have their groundwater is in the vegetables, in the food. You know what I mean? In this. So it's not like they spray it, which they certainly do. But cyclosporiasis, an intestinal infection from the Cyclospora cayetanensis parasite. Its hallmark symptom is frequent, often explosive, watery diarrhea. I think anytime you use the word explosive, and people can laugh at that because we're just funny about that. That's one of the most incredible causes of infant death in the world. So anyway, and by the way, C. diff for older people. And by the way, one day we're going to talk about fecal transplantation. But I'm getting off. He's doing it again. Where is he going with this? I just think about these things, and I want to talk about that. Now, Candace has just absolutely positively won the hearts of everybody. Look at this. I'm a paying member to your channel. Why are my comments not showing in chat? I do not know, Lisa. Lisa, other than this one, I do not know. I do not know this. And by the way, I noticed that one. So listen, we have been through this. I have a friend of mine, Sparky, who couldn't say good. For some reason, he had to write doog. If there's a word, put a hyphen or put an asterisk, God or whatever it is, just kind of, you can get the word across, but it's weird. I don't understand it. There are algorithms that kick in. I have no idea. I have no earthly idea why this works. But thank you. Back to Candace. It's the number one. I saw this woman just right now. Candace is demonic. She's crazy. She's evil. She's a narcissist. They use every word possible. Don't listen to her. Why do you listen to her? I know this may sound crazy, but she's not a member of the government. If Candace thinks that Erica is the devil, so what? So what? Did you hear what I said? What happened? So what? So what? It doesn't matter if you don't like it. There are people who say that Candace is horrible or whatever. Let them say it. I don't listen to it. I caught this woman today who was just going on and on. Fine. People who love Erica, great. Other people who hate Candace. Why is it that if I say something, and I'm really not trying to lay on the derogatory, look, I think Erica is just silly. I don't think she's evil. I'm not in that group. I'm not in that group, unfortunately. I am not in that group. But what I am, interestingly enough, is of the belief, very frankly, that this is getting out of control. And when it comes to Erica, I just think Erica is silly, kind of a ditz, and I just do not like her. I don't wish her harm. I don't wish anything bad. I never thought she was involved in any kind of murder. Never. But she is a moron, a meatball, and somebody I don't ever want to meet and don't like her, among other people whom I don't particularly care for. Just Add Water says, who was controlled opposition to get public consent to control speech? Well, that's an argument for another group. Who knows? It might very well be Candace inadvertently. Now, let me go back to a couple of things here, which is the most important. Alex Jones, you don't like him? Like him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. He is an OG, the original gangster. He is it before any of these people, before Posobiec and all these people. Many of them were still in grade school. He came along. And there were some other great people. Charlie liked, really listened to Rush Limbaugh, who thought was very, very good. And I worked with Rush and knew him, and that was a very, 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 very important time. But all of them had their moments as well. I worked with a guy in New York named Bob Grant. Bob Grant would say stuff that would blow your mind in terms of foreign and gay and black, and he was happened to be one of the nicest people. Let me go back. If ever you were completely bored out of your mind, go back and look up Dynasty. Go watch any of the Dynasty series. You cannot believe what they said about gays. You cannot believe what they said. I mean, this is Dynasty, kind of Falcon Crest, maybe not to an extent, but it was, I mean, the most, you're gay, you're not my son. You would never hear that even remotely, even in a plot of somebody who was, a bad homophobe. Different time then. Now it was okay then, not now. If you really want to go back, I mean, really go back. This is going to be tough. You may not even know this. Peyton Place. Ryan O'Neal, Mia Farrow. Oh my God. My wife and I one time, I think during the Rona, we just said, oh, let's watch something. And I could not believe this was in the early 60s. The subject matter will blow your mind. So what I'm saying is there's always these things that come about, these certain, things that are acceptable, things that aren't, things that are, whatever it is. But the bottom line is simply you should be able to say whatever you want. So Alex Jones came along, and Alex Jones may have gone, you might think, too far. I'm not here to defend him. It's not it. I don't care. If you can deliberately, if you're hurting somebody or harming somebody or saying something about them, yes, you should avail yourself of defamation law. But $1.5 billion or whatever, come on. It's not even remotely transparent. It's not even remotely critical. Let me explain this to you. This is the most important. This is the most critical right now. Listen to this. This is the man that we revere and we love. And listen to what Charlie said about Alex and about shutting him down.
Alex Jones was patient zero for the censorship regime back in 2018. And now Alex Jones is patient zero for lawfare strategies to be able to shut people up that they don't like. Is Alex Jones outlandish? Of course he is. He's a quasi-entertainer. That's one of the reasons why he's so popular. But Alex Jones has been right about a lot of things. And so people say, well, don't talk about it, stay away from it. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson what happens when I stay quiet and I listen to these people. I'm not going to put up with another bad precedent being set because I'm told that I should hate Alex Jones. He's outlandish. He's wild. He's entertaining. I don't agree with him on everything. They're doing this to be able to show it's a spectacle. And some people say, look, Charlie, this isn't about the regime doing a spectacle. It's about the families of murdered kids.
Listen.
Okay, I think it's not right what Alex Jones said and what he did. He agrees with that.
Good.
Should you be able to shut somebody up because of it? Rachel Maddow accused One America News Network of being funded by the Russian government, and a judge tossed that away because under free speech provisions. $1 billion? We're going to talk about this in the next segment throughout the hour. This also is an opportunity that I hope all of you take. Watch carefully today. The podcasts you listen to, the radio shows you consume, the TV shows you watch. This is a scorecard moment.
Yep, listen.
If your favorite conservative commentator is silent on Alex Jones, that is very telling. Lawyers for the...
Let me stop right there. At no point, and I bring this up because I saw this, I mentioned it. And by the way, let me just go on the record again by saying these individuals have all the right in the world. They can say whatever they want. That's fine. But when the Robbie Starbucks and when the Vivas and who who else? A lot of people are, when they talk about, this is a conspiracy theory, it's like, okay, first of all, don't tell me that you just discovered the conspiracy theory argument, that trope. These are old. What are you getting at? What are you getting at? Are you suggesting that? And I would give my left, right, whatever. And I know people love this debate. It's not a debate. You know that moron who thinks he's a debater. He's a master debater. The one with the fool, whatever his name is. I don't know. Andy something. Anyway, this guy thinks it's not a debate. But when it comes to the criminal trial, believe me when I'm telling you, this I know. This I know. Inside and out. Not necessarily the facts of the case as much as others, but in the kind of what's going on. I'd love to talk about that. When you talk about conspiracy theories, these are like buzzwords. These are dog whistles. These are a lot of things that really don't. It's like, what are you getting at? You're saying shut her down. You're saying, they never say that Candace Owens is wrong. They say she's promoting a conspiracy theory. Let me say that again. They never say that Candace Owens is wrong. They say she's promoting a conspiracy theory. Okay, well, maybe it is a theory involving a conspiracy. So what? Because they don't even know. They're so stuck in this CIA, what am I trying to say? This CIA memorandum that came about after I think it was declassified, 67, where they tell people, use Mockingbird Media, which is what this is. Our version of Mockingbird Media today are the contributors and the influencers who are paid by whomever. That's number one. And number two, talk about something being so complicated that there's no way this could ever be brought about, because there's no way people can keep quiet. This tropism is so old, and this is what is referred to in this. And yet that's what Robbie and others were saying. By the way, again, I always got to stop. These are really smart people. They've done some great stuff. But for some reason, I'm going to get to Charlie in a moment. Let me finish this up with Charlie. But I've got to, this.
Sandy Hook families say a verdict will send a signal to other conspiracy purveyors about the cost of online lies and set in motion a chain of events that could shut InfoWars down. So basically, the New York Times is saying this is a lot bigger than just Alex Jones. And you might be out there and say, I hate Alex Jones and he's a wackadoodle and all this sort of stuff. Look at the bigger picture. Have you learned nothing about how these people operate?
Good.
Conspiracy purveyor. Who exactly is that? You know who the conspiracy purveyors are? Every single one of those Mockingbird maniacs on television. That was telling Donald Trump is a Russian agent. You're the conspiracy theorist. But they'll never be held accountable. No, what they mean by conspiracy theorist is someone who asks questions against the core tenets, as Friedrich Nietzsche, the pieties that you can't ask, like election integrity or the alphabet mafia.
And the very fact that he himself has been the subject of this, he himself has been the subject, they're using his name to do this again. It's a sacrilege. As some would say, it's a shanda. Let's go to Strata. Strata says, the wildest show was Soap. Yes, years ago. That wouldn't be allowed on TV today. You couldn't do that today. Couldn't do that. Listen, we've always been through this whole thing. Let me go through a couple of things right now, okay? Conspiracy theories about Trump. Anybody want to talk about that? Shall I go? I don't even want to tell you them, because somebody might say, oh, I didn't hear that one. That's a good one. Sometimes I don't want to tell you not a conspiracy theory. Again, it's the wrong term. This is something about Trump that is, we hear it all the time. Trump's health. He has Parkinson's. He's had a stroke. He has some type of, he should get some kind of a duplex check on his ankles, which a lot of people do. But his cripple hands, he's losing his demented. No, he's not. He's still playing golf, still doing it. It's you're claiming you're claiming that he is mentally unsound when he's not. That is libel per se, because that could be construed as a loathsome disease under common law. Biden was absolutely, by the way, horrible, and people said he was sharp as a tack. That's a conspiracy theory. His staff in the Democratic Party conspired, two or more guilty Confederates working together to promote something which is deleterious and harmful to society. That's a conspiracy. The conspiracy was to tell you nothing's wrong with Biden. He's okay. This is what they did. This is what they told you. Say it. I don't want to shut somebody down. Attack them. Go after them. But you have to understand this. And if you don't like Erica, so what? No, I'll tell you one thing I don't particularly care for is that sometimes I think that the stuff that's been said about Michelle Obama is horrible. I would never say it. I don't think you should shut somebody's platform down. You see what I'm saying? I can disagree with you. I can disagree with you. I can disagree with you. There are people who say things that I absolutely know to be false. And, but you still have, you could still have a belief in them. This is America where we have to be tolerant of this. The stuff they were saying about Trump was, out of control. Especially with that and Epstein. They were just making this up. They were thinking, this could be true. Again, say it. I'll refute it. But don't shut somebody down. This is axiomatic. This is a great word, abecedarian. This is elemental. Now, Candace was furiously, yesterday, furious. And by the way, she was on our show last night. I don't know if you know about this. She was on our show. Don't worry about that. She was on our show, and she graced the portals of our humble abode, if you will. But I want you to listen to this very, very carefully. She was almost not so much hurt, but this business yesterday that came out, this Daily Mail, she's thinking, this ditz, this Erica, who do you think you are? You were a nothing before, Charlie, and now your being a widow does not elevate your status of worth. You are not elevated to any particular period of worth or whatever by virtue of your loss. It's a terrible thing. I'm not trying to compare. Listen to me carefully. I'm not trying to compare who misses Charlie more. Sometimes in certain relationships, a woman who has befriended the husband of somebody else, and they've truly had a platonic, just a friendly relationship, can be closer to that person than this person's wife. You've seen this before. One of the saddest things I ever saw was a judge who fell in love with his legal secretary. It was the most tragic thing. I know for a fact, they never consummated anything. They were both married. They remained until his passing. They remained friends. You should have seen how they looked at each other. It broke my heart. But they believed they had family and their spouses were great. They even a couple of times, I don't even know how they did this, like not double dated, but you don't have to be married to somebody to be in love with them. And love is transcendent. It's not just sexual, lusty love. I believe that Charlie and Candace had, you pick the name of it. I don't want to say brother, sister, platonic, to give it some, to relegate it to something like brother and sister. That's not even the word. You could have two people who were maybe in a different circumstance, a different time, who knows? But romance has something to do with it. There was a profound love, a commitment to each other, and they saw each other directly. Each person I think Charlie would have, I think if somehow Charlie could say, you know what, for whatever she, and I think he must have loved Erica, of course. But you know, and I know, and I will say this absolutely 100% without any hesitation. I think I speak for a lot of people. There is nothing sexier than a brilliant woman. Nothing. When everything comes and goes, and like, oh, that's nice. Because every time, every day, the brilliance, the brill building, the brilliance is new. Say, wow, that's a new one. As opposed to, yep, that's the face, all right. Yep, that's the those are the looks. Yep, that's the body or whatever it is. I mean, that's good. Don't get me wrong, that's great. But that's it. It doesn't change. You can maintain it. But brilliance and intelligence is something that it morphs. It's a protean. It transmogrifies. It expands. It's beautiful. And you know that when there are pictures of Candace and Charlie together, sharing ideas, sharing commitment, sharing motives, sharing thoughts, sharing ideas, sharing everything. And by the way, each of them, I'm sure Candace is very powerful, very strong. She may have, I'm sure she gave Charlie a lot of benefit from that. But Charlie's, I don't want to say piety, but his devoutness might have been an inspiration. All I know is that was a team. And for her to see what's going right now is disgusting. I can't tell you when you see somebody like the widow of a friend of yours who died, and you realize I never knew what a. Have you ever had this happen where you say, what a floozy, or whatever the particular, I'm using phrases from the 40s. You know what I'm saying? When your friend dies, he goes, my God, did you ever love him at all? Did you ever love him at all? Did you? Why are you doing this? Just spending his money? Was that it? Was any of it real? Was it real? What is that? Was it Doobie Brothers? I want to know, was it ever real? Soulmate isn't always one or romantic. Thanks for your work. Oh, soulmate, you're right about this. The more intelligent, the more emotionally intelligent, the more you can see. Have you ever seen somebody who can spot colors? My color vocabulary is nothing. At one time, there's a paint store in the neighborhood, and Mrs. L was doing something else. So I looked at these little, these not swatches, but these little color things you take, and they have, and it was for white. White. I said, what the hell is it white? Oh, white, off-white, eggshell. Oh my, I never knew there was ways to say, yeah, well, that's a little dark. Okay, that's more muted. There's love, but that's a word we just throw at people. That's just this kind of like a shortcut. It's beyond that. It changes. Yes, there's a part of this. There's certain things that there's the first, it's funny. There's like, I hate to use this expression. Sometimes it's like cocaine or heroin. It's like chasing the high. And you must understand that when you are meeting somebody for the very, very first time, and that first initial cannot possibly, it's not healthy. It's not going to be around forever. It can't. There's a degree of habituation. But the best part is, wait, it turns into something better. So I don't want to go too much into this, but it's important that we talk about this because we always talk about sex, gender, sex. There's more to it than that. People can be in love and not married or not and be intimate. They can love each other. And it may not be a category. It's not either or. It's not, well, it's romantic or it's this. It may not. It's admiration, it's respect, it's love, it's fondness, it's whatever it is. And I've seen this. And I know for a fact there have been some pictures of Candace and Charlie. The way they just like laughed and look at each other. Candace never looks like she's faking. Sometimes Erica looks like, how am I supposed to look? I always imagine everything Erica says, and it's not her fault because maybe there's a certain degree of shallowness. I don't know, but it's almost as though somebody says, okay, Erica, yeah, listen. There's a birthday party coming up, and you're going to act surprised but humble. Okay. Erica, you and your husband are going to be taking the stage, and I want you to act loving and doting, but not silly. Not, like don't become absorbed. It's like she's always thinking, how am I supposed to look? As opposed to just react. But if somebody says, but there's no default reaction, I don't know what to react. I don't know. For the longest time, I think and they always talk about, by the way, you want to do this? Okay, gloves are off. They talk about Candace being so, whatever she is. Let me tell you something about this. If you looked at the psychological profile of Erica, there are some people, I do not believe she's a psychopath. She's not smart enough. Psychopath is a term of art. That's really, that's a different thing. That's where head and heart are connected. And how do I say this? You don't have a lot of retarded people who are psychopaths. And I also said one time, you don't see, believe it or not, it happens sometimes, but you don't see sometimes retarded, I'm going to use that word just for shortcuts, who are psychotic. I mean, that's terrible. Imagine being retarded and psychotic. It's like one, you have to have a certain degree of mental wherewithal to have that. You know what I'm saying? There's happy, and then there's Schadenfreude. There's happy, and then there's happy because you're observing the shortcomings or the problems of your enemy. You know what I mean? And one's like, wow, that's deep. The other one's just, I'm happy. Oh, Cheetos, that kind of a thing. Like, that's happy. The other one is also happy, but a little bit different. A little bit different. I don't think Erica has ever known the depth of this. I don't think she understands this. She is not only performative, she's somebody trying to do it. She's in the classic case years ago. I remember hearing about this. People who had, when Asperger's even had a name then, sometimes they would parents would take their kids or kids would go to movies to say, this is what happens. This is a party. Now, notice how they're looking. Look at each other. You see how they're looking at each other? This is called talking. This is called attention. This is called flirtation. Because young people, especially because hormones kick in, and there are some people who had a variety of different spectrum disorders who nonetheless felt, romantically compelled. So they had a particular deal with that. They needed to address that as well. So this is very deep stuff. Erica, not deep. Erica in the color swatches, white. I don't mean race, but I mean just red. Not auburn. Not burnt. No, key lime. No, white. Roy G. Biv. That's Erica. That's it. And what happens is these people who come to her, I'm going to say something. I'm going to go on the record by saying this. Nobody really cares for Erica. They do theoretically. They say like, she's a mom, leave her alone. But it's like, okay, listen, if there was no Candace, would you care about her? No. If there were people who weren't famous, would you talk to them? No. If there are people who weren't rich, would you talk to them? No. The guy who has it best is the guy who pumps your gas. That one you go, hey, that's the one who's interesting. Not the trillionaire, but that guy. If there was no Erica, would you like Erica? Would you want to know? Could she be on any show, any TV show, anything where she wasn't talking about herself? If Erica had to talk, is it Erica? Today we're going to be talking about power or power uses, and we're going to be talking AI and whether recursive self-improvement really poses a threat, and what happens I mean, who determines liability in the case of an autonomous vehicle? Are you ready to do that, Eric? She would look at you like, can I talk about me? No. I had an autonomous vehicle. Erica, no. You never had an autonomous vehicle. No, you never did. Oh, okay. Well, Charlie one time said, no, Charlie didn't. It's not about Charlie. Answer the question. You're on a show. What do you think about AI being used to? She can't do it. You know, and I know. You know, and I know. This is the part which is interesting. Now, do I give this much thought? No. It's not that interesting, but it's true. And people, though, they love it because finally it's like they're saying, you know, I understand this issue. And we'll get to Candace in a moment, but I got to say this. People are saying, you know, I've always wanted to be involved in some kind of an online issue, but I really don't know anything. I don't know anything about AI, you know, energy input and all that. I don't know anything about this. But I do know that this is very easy. Zeman says, Lionel, you speak at the speed of truth. I like that. That's wonderful. I like that. Somebody told me I was the tuning fork of truth or something. It was an interesting simile or metaphor. In any event, this is something which also goes beyond this. Let me explain this. The simplicity of Erica allows people the chance to move in. It's like, hey, would you like to join in? Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. It's like you're watching professional wrestling. That's the heel, that's a baby face. This is Candace Owens. Candace is kind of like the cool, smart one. And we don't like her. Why? Well, because she has spotted somebody who is basically a moron. Erica. And Erica, we kind of sort of, well, maybe we like her. I don't know. But Erica is like, so we're going to pretend that we're speaking for Erica, but nobody really cares. But it's the fact that we hate Candace. Because Candace is everything that we've hated. She's the cool girl. She's the one. She's the one everybody's smart. She's Candace. Yeah, Marcia. That's the way it is. And people say, oh, okay. And then they'll comment. They couldn't care less about Erica. Couldn't care less. They don't care about there's nothing to grab onto. She's never said anything about anything other than herself or some titular, perfunctory, surface level, synthetic discussion of God and Jesus. Let me explain something to you. There are a lot of people I know who went to like this Yale School of Divinity, religion in the Bible. These are not that. This is not child's play. That's like when they say that Al Sharpton was a preacher at 3 years old. No, you're not a preacher at 3 years old. What are you talking about? But the interesting thing about all this is very, very simple. It has to do with something which is more interesting. This is something which shows this woman's wrath. And now, without further ado, watch the anger and the hurt. But Candace in this is seething. You'll see what I'm talking about and find out the moment. See let's watch this together, obviously. Tell me the moment you realize, ooh, I just saw it. Watch.
Erica, I had a name and I had a brand before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. In fact, me and your husband built our names and our brands alongside each other and apart from each other. The world didn't know your name until he died. You attempted to build your brand thereafter, and you made an incalculable amount of money in the process. Do we all need a refresher on the things that she was willing to sell? The photos, the bloody mic in front of donors, the taken in front of it, the bloodied tent, people taking selfies under it. It took just 3 weeks after Charlie's assassination for Erica to file for 3 trademarks, granting her the right to his name on T-shirts, tote bags, any and all clothing. 3 trademarks. And those freedom shirts, which were sold immediately, remember everyone wanted a freedom shirt. They were actually very costly. Those were not sold through the charitable arm. Okay, former employees have confirmed to me that those profits went straight to Charlie Kirk Show LLC. So that's for her personal profit. Once upon a time, Charlie told me Andrew Colvett owned a piece of that company too. Andrew Colvett's personal profit for Charlie. And of course, it wasn't for Charlie. So as a refresher, I already had a name. I already had a brand. I was already being sued by the president of France. I think I was actually known globally. What did I sell when Charlie died? How many?
Now, wait. This is now the argument is, are you ready for this? The argument is that people are claiming, and I don't think it's true, that Candace is selling not Charlie, but Erica or something. Somebody read this. I'll try to find them thinking, what? Yeah, that Erica is their product. No, she's not. But do you notice? Do you see in Candace? Do you hear her face? Do you see the way this isn't some prompter read. This is from the heart. And I can't tell you how I know this, but if you've been a human being and you've been on this planet for any amount of time, you know what I'm talking about. This is as serious as it gets. She is pissed.
Trademarks did I file? It is wild to me, okay, that this article goes on and states, quote, Erica is really offended that Candace would use her husband's death to make a buck, to get attention, to get clout, whatever it is. She's offended. That's her focus, guys. Once again, all Erica cares about is money and brand and merchandise. That's what she's angry about. It's such an unbelievable thing for her to share, for someone to say that. She's upset. She thinks Candace is making money. She doesn't have enough of it, apparently. They can't make enough of the money off of Charlie's death. So what she's concerned with is whether or not I'm making any additional money while I try to figure out who killed her husband. So let me make this perfectly clear again.
Listen.
Erica, please listen to me. When Charlie died, we had already signed all of our advertising agreements through not just to the end of last year, 2025, but through to Q1 of this year. So what that means, because I don't really think you're well-versed in business, is that not a single additional advertiser was brought onto this platform and no existing advertisers had their rates raised, okay? We didn't make money in advertising. We sold 0 products. You remember all of the influencers, they raced to put his name, his face on cups, on t-shirts. We're going to share proceeds with Erica. We're going to do this. We all want to fight Charlie, blah, blah, blah. The same influencers who are now selling you the Fed slop about how he died, we didn't engage any of that. No, we were actually grieving to the stark contrary. We sold nothing with Charlie's face. No memorabilia. Not a single item was sold by us in the aftermath of his death. Everyone racing to commemorate him by making money for themselves. And I would point out that in our tribute episode to Charlie, our biggest episode by views ever.
See this?
We sold, and consequentially read 0 ads. 0.
Now, let me just stop you right there. Are you seeing this? Are you picking up on this? She is absolutely 100% correct. It's one of the best indictments. It's one of the best closings. It's like, you understand the subject so well, you can explicate it so perfectly, and you have such a passion and a fever and a fire that no one can miss it. This is from the part of just persuasion. This is, as the kids say, epic.
Bro, none. Go back and watch it. It's still up. To my friend Charlie Kirk, no ad reads, nothing sold. For the public, our show before Charlie died was already in the top 10 globally, sitting above the Charlie Kirk podcast, and every single episode of our new podcast since we launched it back in 2024 has averaged well above 1 million views. Go back and check that. So what is it, Erica, that you are actually upset about? Really ask yourself that question, okay? Because time and time again, you keep reminding people that all you care about is money and brand and merchandising.
This, when somebody says something, I mean, if you try to write a script and say, get an actress, I want you to sell that. Just like that. I don't know if anybody can do it. She's hurt. She's mad. I'm going to say something. And I'm going to tell you this, and I hope nobody gets upset over this. When a woman, a very refined woman, gets mad, it's a different man. It's a different man. A man gets pissed. In West Tampa, we call it empingado. It's like it's a phallic reference, but it means you're just pissed off. This is different. This is anger, resentment, hurt, disbelief, shock, being aghast, being nonplussed. I mean, there's a lot of it. She's like, she wants to say, are you out of your fucking mind? Do you know what she really wants to say? Do you know who I am? Not in terms of I'm a better person. No. Because Candace's humility would prevent that. But I'm saying just in terms of our marketability. You're a guy with a wiener stand on the side of Route 3. I'm McDonald's. I'm all over the world. There's no competition. Yeah, we do kind of the same thing. You don't understand it, do you? You don't get it. And the thing about it is that she is such an empty thimble, just this little doll, this marionette, this sock puppet that's just pushed around, and she's been forced. They use her. They absolutely use her. They use her ignorance, her wide-eyed stupidity, this vapidity. She's vapid, she's insipid, she's vacuous, she's empty. She's not connected. There's this, and you can see it every time. She has one speed. That's it. Do you think you've ever seen the real Erica? When a woman camps up and theatricizes, I just made that up, it's a neologism, and lies across her husband's casket while she is mic'd. So you can hear every whisper to capture the moment. So devoid of the ability to detect camp and schmaltz and insincerity. So unable to do that. She saw nothing wrong with it. Do you know what that is? I can't help people. Do you ever have, did your kid ever say this? Mommy, that man's fat. And you say, come here. You can't do this. You're a kid. I know you don't mean anything by it, but you see, that hurts people's. She's like at that level. It's like, Erica, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? You see those people there? When you go on Fox News, when you see those women looking at you, they can't stand you. They can't believe if you weren't on this deal. Listen to what I'm saying. You look at this crew. Oh, you look at them. They are hardcore. These harridans, these viragos, these termagants. They're sitting there, and if you weren't who you were, and if you weren't told by the Fox powers that be, they wouldn't give you the time of day. You're a phony, and there's nothing that comes through it. And this is not about hate. Nobody hates you. They did the same thing. They said the same thing about Jackie Kennedy. Jackie, you're cold, but I lost my husband. Enough of that shit. Coretta Scott King, they said, Coretta, say something. Do something. Carry on his legacy. I don't want to do that. Ethel Kennedy, you just got all these kids, and you're Andy Williams. Remember that one? Mary Todd Lincoln. I'm the only one who worries about her. She was actually kind of mentally ill, but they said, what are you buying all this stuff for? They attacked her. He goes, my husband was Abraham Lincoln. Then there's Warren Harding, who, by the way, was poisoned by his wife, but that's a different story. So this is Courtney Love, Yoko Ono. Yoko Ono, did you see what they handed him? I don't know about that. They were like in love. John and Yoko and Paul and Linda, they were like inseparable. That's all. I dig it. I understand what they're talking about. And Yoko Ono. And you know what? And I've had kind of a tangential connection, but Sean Lennon, nice, absolutely. She and his mother, they don't deserve this. You don't know anything about Yoko. But she went through this. She goes, you broke up the Beatles. I lost my husband. They gave her, did you ever see this picture? John's bloody glasses. Here you go. That's it. His blood. And they go, fuck her. She broke up the Beatles. So all of a sudden, that's just like, oh, he said. And Yoko said, what am I going to do? But no. Erica is so bad, so devoid of any ability to say, because they realize she is really, there's nothing there. I mean, she's like handicapped. So they came out and contrived this Dana Lash. I'm the widow. It's like, shut up with your widow. You're, first of all, you're blasphemous. You're debasing the Bible by using it in some kind of an instruction manual. You don't know what you're saying. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And that's the reality. But this, and we're not going to let it happen. Keep strong. Don't back down. You know what does it? The numbers. And pretty soon, these people, like the Vivas and the Robbies and all these people, and they're not bad, but they're going to realize, and they're realizing right now, holy shit, what did I do? I had no idea. None. Oh my God. Yeah, I told you this before. Gerald Posner, by the way, not a bad guy. He took this idea, his position, the thesis of his book, Case Closed, was that Oswald acted alone. That's novel, but they went like, get the fuck. But they don't know. And they kind of sat back, and this one guy said, okay. You know, when I saw this, I go, ooh, Robbie, ooh, okay. Okay. You sure about this, Tiger? Yeah. Because the people who say, hey, that's great, Robbie, they're going to forget you tomorrow. They didn't even know you were there. They didn't need you. You didn't. There's no extension. They're not going to say thank you for that. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you for using your genius. And this is a very talented, young man. But don't. They're not going to do that to you. No, all you've done is you've just pissed off. It's Jack Reacher. Remember, you wanted this. You took them on. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. It's a free country. You can see whatever you want. Watch what happens. And the thing about it is that the people who love, Charlie certainly, but Candace, if you put it on the scale, it's like this. It's so dense. It's like uranium. It's like one little drop of it weighs about 20 pounds. My God. The other ones, they're fly by night. They're not connected to Erica. They're just the anti. They only use her as a chance to get at Candace because she's a cool girl. I mean, this is schoolgirl. This is Mean Girls 101. This is so base. It all is like that. Absolutely. But these people realize, like, okay. And then they go through everything you ever did. And then there's this thing that is happening right now. And you'd better figure it out. And if you don't like it, well, you're going to figure this thing out. Well, let me tell you what really pisses people off. This is the one. By the way, this is the one. The Trump 2020. That's for the museum. By the way, do you ever think about this as an aside? Trump says they stole the election. You won. You beat Hillary, you beat Biden, and you beat Kamala. You won. You're in. It's okay. You won. If it was rigged, you won. Maybe not 20. Anyway, that's another story. This is the one. Let me tell you what really pisses people off. And I want you to understand this. I was watching today. I was at the gym. And I was watching Breaking Points. And I get, bear with me. Bear with me. I like to see what other people are saying. And there's a woman, her name is Crystal Ball. She and Sagar and Jetty. So she had somebody on who was a Democratic, whatever, and he was basically trashing the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, or something like that. Anyway, she said, let me ask you a question. She leans, she goes, you took a lot of AIPAC money. What about that? And he didn't get it. He goes, well, that's, I think they go, no. You don't understand what you did. That's to many people, that's a third rail. You did it. You're a traitor. Now he might say, wait a minute, hold it. I'm a 60-some-year-old Democrat. I've been in Congress for a long time. It's money, it's PACs. No. You don't understand it. There are people in this country, whether you understand this or not, you got to grasp, they don't like this. So as they're going through everything this person ever said, everything this person ever wrote since the beginning of time, they say, oh, Israel. Now let me be as clear as I possibly can. I am not saying that I or you or any of us agree. I'm pointing out a fact. And the fact is what's critical. I can't focus with Candace haters in here. Oh, it's okay. Oh, the Candace haters are good. Remember, believe it or not, they're good to an extent because you have to understand and grasp the fact that they're making my point. They're making my point. And the thing about it is that if they were smart, but they're not, they're helping this thing. And Candace needs this. Absolutely, positively. This is the most important thing in the world. And I mean it. Very, very important. So anyway, so go back to this. So they're looking at this and they're looking at these people as very, very insincere. And they're also looking at this as negative people who are absolutely positively dangerous. And they don't get it. They don't get it. And you're always going to find people, and I welcome them to an extent. Look at this. The enemy has been inside the gates for a long, long time. Oh, that's Mr. Samo. He's a very wise man. He's a very, very wise man. Tell me give me a nice, I can't watch give me somebody, is there a really good hater? Somebody we can engage? And let's be nice. We don't want kind of vigilante. But is there somebody who really, honestly, we can address? Because I haven't seen anybody say anything other than just hate. Anybody here? Anybody? Just give me a name. Anybody like to come forward? Can we just talk about them? So Stephen Brower, where's Stephen Brower? Let's look. Where is he? Steve, I'm looking for you. Going up here. Going through the room. Let me see. Where are you? Come on, son. Where are you? Let's look for Stephen. There's a lot of names here. My eyes adored you. Though I never laid a hand on you, my eyes adored you. They were a million miles away. I couldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far away. I don't know. I don't see this. Oh, here we go. Oh, Kai's upset. Come on, where's this? There we go. Here we go. He writes, Candace will have a complete mental collapse before month's end. Now, Steve, seriously, is that the best you can do? Really? You think Candace is going to have a complete mental collapse? Come on, you can do better than that. Come on, let me give you a chance. Let me see. See, now if I had to say something, I'm not going to give you the tips to this, but the way you do it, boy, Kai, take it easy, Kai, especially with your, take it easy. We don't want you to go crazy. I don't want you to get a. I'm looking through this again. There's so many. I don't really see. Where are they? I'm looking. Kai is upset. Here we go. Here we go. So many here think they own chat rights. Devilish, Stephen. That's 0 for 2 so far. You're making your point. You're landing tough ones here. Come on, you can do better. I'll give you one more chance. Everyone here wondering how they fell for Candace BS. We'll see in 6 months. Okay, listen. I gave it a shot. If that's the best, give me somebody who's good at this. Brasileira Mia says the devil's greatest trick was convincing people that he isn't real. But he is real. Yes. How did they go so far in not absolutely I mean, they, and every time I see you had Ben Shapiro, this is the thing, is like, do you not know how this thing works? Do you not know? If you have a cause, it's called PR. Have somebody who's good, like this poor guy here. They're not even trolls. They're not even very good. I want somebody who's good. And remember, the best thing you can do is always say this: interesting, and leave on. Just move on. I've been doing this my whole life. It doesn't matter. It's this thing, and we need this. We need this. Don't you understand? What if I told you that Candace paid them? What if I told you that Candace has a group of people who suffered serious frontal lobe injury in automobile accidents, and she gave them a laptop and said, I want you to go and spew hate. Do you know how they galvanize our opinion for Candace? You have any idea? See, I could talk all day long. You know what I mean? We can all day long. But I got to tell you something. There's nothing that causes you to feel something than somebody who's a detractor. Let me tell you something. They always say you never feel more American than in another country. And when somebody from a foreign country talks bad about your country, even though you might agree with the government, it's wait a minute, hold it. I can say that, not you. Well, that's what's going on here. So we can't worry about it. And Kai, I don't want you to be upset. I don't want you to be upset because, especially, remember, gotta watch your tummy there, because let me tell you, that'll whew. That's no way to lose weight. Let me tell you something, all right? That there is that aspect to it, but this isn't the way you want to do it. Dehydration does not help. So anyway, we got this. This is the best part. So anyway, my friends, I wish everybody glory. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your love. And to the trolls, as long as you are courteous, when I mean courteous, just because you have a different opinion, I don't care about that. Just don't be abusive or vile. But other than that, welcome. Bring your friends. Come on. You do more to invigorate us. When I get done with this, you go out into the world, and now you're more committed, more determined, and more focused to assist and help Candace than you've ever been in your life, by virtue of what we're doing, and also how people kind of weigh in with this mindless, this execration of our Candace. So let me just tell you something. We love you. Thank you for that. Keep it coming, because we're not going anywhere. And let's see about not where Candace is. Let's see where TPUSA is. I mean, imagine the money. Imagine trying to raise money. It's like, what am I doing? Andrew Colbert. Hey, Andrew, can you and Flake come in here? Yeah. What are you doing? Honestly, seriously, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to raise money here. And first of all, why are you on the Charlie Kirk show? That's blasphemous. That's sacrilege. What are you doing? Seriously. Flake, why are you going on Twitter? What are they? Whatever those little audio things are. They're setting you up. There are people listening to everything you're saying. What are you doing? And who was it who said, by the way, Daily Mail, that's one of the worst articles ever. But Erica, why are you bringing up Candace? Why? Why? Let me say this again. You don't have the following she does. Her fans, they love her. Your fans hate Candace. You're just there. You don't even matter. If, God forbid, you disappeared or you just went away on a retreat for 6 months, nobody will go looking for you. They'll still talk about Candace. They won't even know you're not in the room. So don't kid yourself. And if you start trying to, listen, this woman has they have, those people who try to replicate the whatever the hell that thing's called, that canopy where Charlie met his end. They actually sell this, or not sell it, but that's like being in JFK inside. Hey, I'm in the car. What? They have no class. They have no class. So everybody okay? Kai, you okay, hon? Everybody all right? How about a big can for Kai? Can we get you something? Can we get you some ginger ale? My mother was very good at that. Anything went on with you? Want some ginger ale? Saying, what do I want ginger ale for? You want ginger ale? You want tomato soup? Grilled cheese and tomato soup? You know what? Campbell's? Oh yes. You okay, Kai? Seriously, don't do any long distance. Don't do any needless scuba diving. Okay, just take it easy, relax. Tranquilizer. Look at her. Bless your heart. You don't need a tranquilizer. You need an anxiolytic. A little bit different. This is great stuff. How about let's send our love to Kai. Come on, poor thing. She's got this thing. I don't want to go into it, but it's just not good. Not good. All right. Love ginger ale. Isn't that great? Ginger ale is terrific. Ginger ale. Remember when you were sick? Hey, there's no crumb cake. What? There's no crumb cake left. Pilgrim, you nut. Remember when you were home? I remember a kid, and I'm sick of. I'm home, and they're at school. Whatever, ginger ale, and great. And I'm going to watch The Price is Right or whatever the hell it is, and I'm home, and there's nothing you can do about it. Susan says, Erica is jealous of the history between Candace and Charlie. Probably always has been. Tale as old as time. Great job, Lionel. Thank you. It's true. It's true. You can tell. It's true. Look at this. Kelbell says, I knew a Kelbell. I used to work with a Kelbell. Candace never showed her hand until it's time to call. Yep. Doesn't show the receipts, as they say. Ginger ale made with real ginger. It's funny you say that, Samantha. I had that for the first time, and I don't know what that was, but I said, what is it? He goes, ginger ale. Yeah, I've had it. He goes, no. That was ginger ale flavoring. This is. I said, oh my God. Have you ever been to a soda fountain? In New York, there's a place that's been around since the beginning of time. And they also have, where he's a soda jerk. Anyway, but he does the syrup. He does this looks great, doesn't it? He does the seltzer, mixes it up. It's a fountain drink. Unbelievable. You've seen how great Coke is with cane syrup versus corn syrup. Makes a tremendous, just a different. Remember something right now. Ginger beer is good. Coke used cocaine. That's right, it did. And don't forget also, there was something called Vin Mariani. Vin Mariani was a coca extract. Pope Leo XIII, Jules Verne. It was a tonic. They sold it as a tonic. It was coca. 100%. Mint leaves, yes. Verner's from Detroit. Yes. Hi, Lionel. Sending you lots of love from Sydney, Australia. God bless yous. Also, you know what's great? Every now and then, Verner's, but then also root beer. Root beer, they still have these. remember A&W? Remember they had that thing in Florida called Dog and Suds. But anyway, but they had this root beer is like every now and then. This is when I would go during the Rona, we would take trips to, because the Jersey farms right now, especially because they have corn and in fact, I'm going to be going there soon. Corn and tomatoes are different. But there was this one place and they had this brand. I don't know what the hell it was. I never heard of it. It was incredible. But root beer is like something you can't, to me, I can't do it all the time. A little bit. I was like, all right, that's enough. That's enough. Take it easy. Some things also like 7-Up. You know how you Irish folks always refer to 7-Up as lemonade. I never got that one either. But 7-Up is like, okay, Sprite. Okay. Who remembers things like Tab, RC Cola and a Moon Pie, Diet Right? You'd probably use Diet Coke, but there were these flavors that are just incredible. Also, I recently had something when we were vacationing. Some great, real, honest to God, Mexican food from Mexican people. Oh my God. Unbelievable. In any event, I'm getting hungry. I don't want to get hungry, but I am. All right, dear friends, I love you. Oh, one more thing. Potato rolls. If you want to make a burger at home, potato rolls. Wow. I don't know what the hell that is. And also, what's with JetBlue? Since I'm just throwing things at you, what's with JetBlue? Oh, I'm sorry, Samantha. I left your comment up there. That's okay. We can ruminate. Let's just leave because Samantha, she's very concerned about this. But what's with JetBlue? I was trying to book something for somebody the other day, and I said, what the hell's going on here? What is going on? How does this, what is happening? They're not answering phones. They're not doing, are they going under? I'm serious. You know how normally they say, if you'd like to stay in line or online, we'll call you back at this number. So you have to, this is 2 days ago. So I called back and they said, you're still in line. And say, what? This breaks my heart. JetBlue was the best. Loved them since they, there we go, Samantha. Since they started. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand this. Oh, look at this one. Tiny loves, I love potato rolls. Yes. Great idea. They're wonderful. Yes. Look at this ADE, Aussie pies. You know what? Let me tell you something about you. I've got a friend of mine, my dear friend. He's from Adelaide. And I heard all about the pies and the meat pies and the mince pies and all that stuff. Potato rolls, by the way, are actually, it's a great question. They are, I think there's this one group, I think it's one I like called Martins, or as people say, Martins. They are a different thing. Potato rolls are soft, pillowy, and slightly sweet, made with a blend of wheat flour and mashed potatoes. Thanks to potato starches, they're retaining moisture. They stay fresh and longer, and they are a beloved staple for burgers, sliders, hot dogs. If you want to take, I think, Martin's, Martin's famous potato rolls. They're the best. You can take, I swear to God, you can take whatever burger you want that's at home, and if it's on a roll, no. Bread, no. Potato roll, it's like you will not believe it. You will not believe it. It's also great, my friends. Homemade horseradish. Horseradish is something happened. Horseradish, edamame, that style, that burns with the nose versus the tongue. Love it. There's so many things. Also, Kai, sauerkraut. Probiotics, sauerkraut is fantastic. Miso soup, sauerkraut, kimchi. Get natural fermentation in your gut I don't want to talk too much about this. Is TPUSA a pizza franchise? You guys are funny. All right, enough of this. Listen, my friends, you have a great day. Candace, I never call Candy. Candace is on today. We're going to be talking later on. We have hit a nerve here, my friends. We're going to be talking about this. Let me also thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your contributions, and thank you for your love. And also to our trolls. Come on back. Come on back. Shasta, I love that. Wasabi. What's up with you too? Shasta. All these great stuff. I mean that. I gave Candace a hand fart yesterday, and I don't think she understood. Radish. Yeah. I have a potato roll, my mid. By the way, potato rolls. Ooh, love fresh horseradish. One whiff will open your sinuses. Yes, 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 yes. I have a potato roll in my section from this war in Iran and TPUSA. Okay. Reuben sandwich from from 810 Deli, 7th Avenue, New York. Let me tell you something. There's so many places that are, I know edamame is different, but wasabi. Anyway, enough of that. I'm rambling. Have a great day, my friends. See you later on. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos, and always make sure you come back. And remember, I appreciate it. I love it. And Candace, we're behind you because we're all in this together, brother. There's a great Cam Fong as Chin Ho said. Until later, don't forget the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Dad.